G'day mates and welcome to Anno 1800. I've got a little bit of a surprise for you today. We are in the closed beta. I have 4 days or 3 or 4 days worth of access to this. It's going to be a mightily busy 3 or 4 days for me. Bit of a strong weekend. I've already dived in briefly. I loaded into just to make sure everything was actually playing with my recording software perfectly, and it does seem to be doing quite well. Sort of do an old Total Biscuit thing where I have a look at the options menus. I've had a brief browse through here. There's nothing particularly stimulating. Those are my settings in case anyone was particularly interested. But we're going to dive into a new game. Now, we don't need any guidance. I probably should take it, but we'll figure this stuff out as we go along. I'm reasonably experienced at the Anno games. Now, that is a terrible looking mustache. I think this guy here is pretty much the closest looking to me. I look very, very little like him at all. Other than the fact that I have a bit of stubble, but no one else here is even remotely close to me in age or gender, except for, well, that bloke is close at least in age, possibly that guy too, but that is just, I can't get over that face, it's atrocious. Nah, not like me at all. Let's dive on in. Now, I like it's actually quite nice, it's an old-fashioned choo-choo train though. I think I'm going to go the old-fashioned one. I do like that one the most, and green is my colour of choice. Now, I have, do we need a name? Swigo Flamingo, that'll do. I am Mr. Flamingo. Now, I've got a few days of access to this. I haven't bought the game, I haven't been granted the game in terms of when this closed beta is up, I will be have my access revoked. It's only a 4-day thing. I haven't signed any non-disclosure agreements, haven't got anything special like that from Ubisoft, so I'm not a paid shill. This is my first I guess impressions of the game. Well, I have seen 1 or 2 videos on YouTube of sort of the lead up of this. It's not a bad island, I suppose. It's pretty decent. It looks very similar to, in fact, it's exactly the same, but a different angle. That's the angle I was looking at before. So it seems like it's the exact same island every time you load in. I suspect this closed beta has a very fixed experience they want people to have, like lots of good building area here, a nice little hill. So I'm not a paid shill. I haven't received the game. I've just got access to it, like many thousands of other people have. And I'm just going to have a quick look at it and try to experience it. There is no limit to how much I can show you, to my knowledge. Obviously, I'm just going to show you what I can, and if they don't like it, they'll have to pull it down. But let's dive on in. Now, a lot of people, and I suppose I have for a long time, have built nice, efficient, beautiful. I always like to have that thing at the bottom just to orient myself. Although now I'm off on the map. A lot of people seem to build really nice, beautiful grid-like patterns, and for a long time that was me as well. I'm going to try to de-grid things just a little bit. When I was playing Pharaoh and Emperor a little bit earlier in my YouTube career, I did really get into... What the hell is that counting down to? Not sure, we'll find out. Something bad will happen. Might be an autosave timer. I got into sort of having the less than beautiful, or not less than beautiful, less than ordered way of doing things. You'll know, any long-time viewers will know I can't actually work and talk at the same time. So this is going to really set things back. Now I do want to have a nice big boulevard of some sort down the center, although that looks atrocious, but maybe we'll deal with it, I'm not sure. I want a nice big boulevard, and I'm going to try to sort of de-grid things a little bit. I'm going to try to make it look a little bit more organic where possible. But we'll throw a marketplace down here, and we'll get a couple of little sets of housing in here. Where? There's the housing in the middle. Look at that, that's kind of cool. So I'm still going to do little blocks. You can't get away from doing blocks, but I want to have a bit of a square in front of the marketplace, and start to just get things up like this a little bit. We'll just build and just see what happens. Probably going to want like that. So towns, ye olde towns, I don't think were ever particularly grid-like. It was New York was one of the first real grid-like towns, but I'm going to try and keep it relatively efficient. But I want a little bit of space to actually beautify things up. Now, there is a beautify function somewhere, I'm sure.
We all like a nap.
I have no idea. Blueprint I don't need. building sorting. I'm sure that'll pop up in time. Anyway, we're just going to keep building a little bit here and get things sorted nicely. And it looks like I've run out of wood, so let's work on to getting... I'm imagining timber... Oh, okay. Lumberjack and sawmills. Very, very simple. Wood is pretty much a staple for the Anno games. Do I need to find somewhere that's particularly well wooded, or will they just do it themselves? Over here's looking like a nice industrial area, but I want a bit of clearance for my timber. Let's do it right over here. I like it actually tells me the percentage that's coming up. That percentage there was surprisingly low. So the question now is, can I reseed? I suspect I may have stuffed that one up. Let's move this one around. And there we go. We'll get you down there. So that one's not particularly good. Normally in the old 1404 you could actually tell it to properly reseed. Prepare ourselves up. Another one of these. We're going to want you over there. And I reckon 4 is probably a good start. That's about it there. Now that lets us have a warehouse in the center. Does it actually tell us? It doesn't quite tell us where their ranges are. Yes, it does actually. You can kind of see them. It's not the easiest tool to use, but it's pretty good, I suppose. I go up here, we'll get through the center. And I want to connect... Oh shit, I stuffed that one. Done goofed. There we go, get those nicely hooked up. We'll get ourselves a little pickaxe tool, and I think we're looking fairly good at this point. We need a marketplace there, which is perfectly centered. Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to need more timber, so let's bulldoze some houses until I get more wood. What do I need? More wood. Not the best start to the game I've ever seen.
Milestone.
Oh, I see what's going on. I think I need... Oh, there you go. Ready for construction. Okay, so it doesn't just automatically finish. That's interesting to know. Anyway, let's go back down here to planks, and I'm going to need... Do I need timber? I think I can just place them. I'll throw them in the center there. I'll throw 2 in. They should still be about 100%. Yeah, looking good. You are...
This is the way the farmers ride. Hobbledy, hobbledy, hoy.
What are you dropping? Ah, because you're full storage. That's fine. This thing here will start actually running down. And for fuck's sake, I have fucked this up big time. All I need is not a marketplace, but a warehouse. Haha. There we go. Top of professionalism here. This is what you come to expect on the Blxz channel. These guys should start going. You'll go and pick everything up. And we will crack along beautifully. Now they should actually just drop it off directly, but they are apparently not doing that. Now it may be a 2-to-1 or maybe a 1-to-1 ratio. We'll see what happens. If these guys get chock-a-blocked and these ones are expanding, then we'll know. I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. Then we'll know that... we'll figure out the ratios as we go. You can cheat, you can look them up online typically, although I doubt the beta will have all that information out there just yet, but typically you can look them up if you're really keen on that, but I prefer to sort of figure things out as I go along. Now this is one thing I really do like about the game, is that I can actually place something down like that, and that will allow me to get away with it. It'll actually blueprint them, and I can come back later. That looks very much like a road of some sort, and I can actually come back and tell it when I want to complete the construction. It allows me to plan things out properly. I'm probably going to want you to come down there, like that. So this is a brilliant little tool. In the past, you used to have to sort of remember where they were and count out the squares. Is there a way to just, actually need the timber to come through? So things are ticking along gradually. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's a new little mechanic-y thing. In that you have to actually be connected to the harbour. So in previous games, other than of course 2205, you could just sort of bunny hop along the island and you have something out here not connected to the main harbour, and the entire island was sort of like a warehouse of sorts. So that is really quite interesting. I'll have to learn that gradually over time, all the different quirks of this game. There we go. Everything's starting to tick up along beautifully. We could probably throw down additional sawmills, even for the early period, just to really get things going. I will might pipette up a couple more of these. I'm going to throw them. I don't want to be too close to here because it'll start to drop their percentages down. But I'll throw them up just up here. And so what will happen is these ones will drop off everything to these as required. But if we ever have any additional logs being produced and that these sawmills can't handle, they'll be stored up in here. There you go, 22 logs already stored up. Those logs will then be dropped off to this one here really closely, but they won't actually prioritize them. So that's a bit of overflow at the moment. We may burn down here quickly, in which case I can bump them off. Or this may be the perfect ratio, 1-to-1, in which case nothing, we'll never notice the difference. So these don't build up normally. Is there a way for me to... Yes, there you go. I can do the entire lot in one go using the upgrade tool. And yeah, I've actually got enough resources. Now, is there a way to put... Yeah, there is. Timber's up there. 3 out of 75. Steel beams. Excellent. So I've got to learn my way around this. I think we can actually gradually begin to build things up here. Now we need a fireplace. I'm losing tax money, but that's fine. I can just build up a few more houses. And we'll figure this out as we go along. I want you to go there. I want you guys to head up there a bit further. Ooh, that looks so much like a road to me. I'm going to have to get used to that. And we'll get ourselves some little towns to set up here. Now I want to save a little bit of space. We're probably going to grow this way as well. Sort of in a circular fashion around that. But we will figure that over time. Hopefully I can actually make this a nice boulevard. In fact, I have a better idea. What I'm going to do is run this right up there, and it actually doesn't turn into too bad of a road, but I should be able to put some sort of trees or some sort of ornamental things as we, there we go, modest park, grass, bush, poplar, fully grown tree. Let's have a look at that. Fully grown tree is, looks just like a regular tree, and they look ugly and messy. I like a nice tamed, a poplar. That's quite nice actually. It's actually quite beautiful. And then of course we've got a bush, looks like, wow, just looks like a lump, like a green rock. It's hard to actually use this camera. Yeah, it's a bit shitty looking. What do we got here? And that's, oh, that's nice dark green grass. What we're going to do is just throw in a poplar just randomly there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's a nice little park for people to actually walk around in. Throw a couple more residences in. Oh, this is a beautiful game. This is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning game. I really probably should have put the settings up on ultra, but I think they're on high for everything at the moment. Might be a couple of mediums in there, but they're the default ones. I didn't change them. I figured that it would know what's going on. I do recognise we have a balance deficit, but there's so much cash at the moment. I'm not particularly bothered, although I'm sure you guys are probably clamouring for me to actually get some real work done. I'm just enjoying experimenting a little bit here. Now we do have fish, but we're going to run out of fish at some point soon because they're chomping through that. It's greatly decreasing, 12 per 20 minutes. Okay, so we've got, I don't know, 15 minutes remaining or something like that. So I'm not hugely bothered. We are moving over quite quickly. I have been running at top speed, so that could be a bit of a problem. Now it does worry me that this is the top speed of the game, unless that's... No, it's a menu. So this is the fastest that the game can run. We've got medium speed and regular. Yeah, that is a bit of a shame. If that's the fastest, I do remember the old ones, you could really hold down the plus key and just hoon along. That doesn't actually work for this one. If it just click there and click plus, all it does is move up those speed things there. So this is the maximum speed of the game. Not spectacularly fast, but we will, I guess, figure that out as we go along. What I'm going to do is actually clear out the center of this road. Now, do I want a fully... They're 75 bucks each, are a little bit expensive. How much is grass? Also 75, so it makes no difference what ornament you choose. Do I want... I can't go all the way down. Do I want poplars all the way?
Assuredly, she's a fine ship.
Yeah, she's a fine shed, that is. Although I want grass. Let's have a look at grass. Nah, grass has no personality at all. So we're going to demolish that grass and instead going to have a beautiful tree-lined poplar path all the way up to at least there. May have another crossing point up further. I think that is looking spectacular. I have a couple of green areas like this, but poplar-lined trees, that is stunning. Almost wish I'd done them on the outside as well. Now maybe another boulevard once we get another district for the city. That can be our main boulevard heading up. We might have one class of people on one side and the lower classes on the other side. I'm not sure exactly how we'll do that just yet. But either way, we're going to need fish. So let's get some fish before our people starve their little asses off. Probably not very nice to have them too close to that. And actually you can see it here. So you can see the areas going green on the roads. I suspect that is what they're actually affecting. So I'll put these further down like that. That'll actually allow them to not taint our road, taint our people. It's a shame they don't have ugly amenities too. I like to have, well, not ugly amenities, but different amenities like wharf boxes and things like that, because I could really set up a good, nice square box wharf area over here. But we haven't quite got there just yet. We're going to need money, lots and lots of money. So to get that, the best way, either other than building more houses, which I will need to fill those out shortly, is to start getting their needs. So the way Anno works is you have different levels of pops. I'm sure I'm sort of preaching to the choir here. A bunch of you already know what's going on. But each house area, each building is a person in here, and they have certain needs, and more will unlock as the population of that people increases. So you start off with one farmer. All they really need is a market, which is like a community thing. This is somewhere they can go to meet and greet people and get their resources from. And every single citizen house will require that, a marketplace of some sort. And typically then they require a basic food, which in about 99% of all Anno games is fish early on. And where it's not fish early on, it'll be fish later on. So typically they're all living off fish, and that is the first basic... I wish I'd stop talking in the background. And that was the base food that they're all going to live off. After that, as you get more and more of them, so I built a few houses, they've unlocked work clothes. Clothing is typically something you have to make your people. And then there'll be something here. If I had to guess, it'll be a church, or it'll be some sort of other community group like that, or social activity. And then that'll be all they need. Once I've got all of those, you can actually level them up to another person and to another like social class. Just click a house. You probably use, if I'm assuming correctly, the upgrade tool. Let's actually fill these out while we're here. Get that timber burnt off. Level them up to a higher social level, and they pay more taxes, but then they also unlock a whole bunch of new needs. And you gradually get more and more people requiring more and more needs. There is a fire chance, so let's get a fire building for all shit goes to... damn it, that is a pain in the ass. It doesn't quite fit. So instead, throw that there. And how about we throw a nice grassy area around it. That can be their fire training area. Probably should have thrown a tree in there so they can practice getting cats out of the tree as well, but we'll deal with that as we go along. Now, I'm not sure how long these episodes are going to be. I'm just going to go along and build my city. I'm going to talk and ramble to myself. This is effectively a first impressions, and I don't normally do first impressions, mainly because I like to explore and figure out what I'm doing. And that may not be to people's taste. It's certainly not to my taste watching, but this time you guys are going to have to either love it or leave it, and preferably don't leave it, because I really would like you to come along and enjoy the game with me, because I'd love to do a more skilled playthrough later on. But what we're going to do is give them clothing, so I can make what looks like schnapps, which is, I always thought schnapps was made from something other than potato, but apparently I'm wrong. Either way, it's like a vodka type of thing. But we don't need schnapps for anything here. None of these people are drinking schnapps. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, that is interesting.
I'm confident it's ready to go.
Interesting. That's also new. What's this?
Entirely marvelous to meet you, and that we may show truth or anything.
Oh, it's brilliant.
In our broadsheet.
So because I'm losing money, so people are going to be more unhappy. I haven't made any clothing, and that's a need they've got, and so the people are going to be unhappy. But I'm still new, and that's going to pump up happiness. So, can I edit this? Oh, okay. So I have an influence cost of some sort somewhere, which I don't know. You can sort of see it's popping up here when I mouse back onto it. It says influence of 35, tax income of 5%. So I can click this. No, I can't. I can. Yep, I can drag it up.
Away from
Telling people they're happier than they think, and instead of bankruptcy, no. What we're going to do is tell the people to consume more.
Absolutely behind you.
This is brilliant. This is phenomenal. That is not money. That seems to be some sort of influence. I'm going to have to figure out where that is.
Censorship is not always the cranny of the corrupt.
Oh, the corruption is strong in this one. This is brilliant. I'm loving it. Gain more influence. Global population. Okay, so you have a large population and you can gain more influence, like a higher cap. But also, my influence is increasing slowly every what? Every minute? Every hour? Who knows? Maybe every level or something. Either way, I have a fixed amount of influence. The people now have read that paper and they think everything is going well, even though there's a total newbie at the helm. But let's dive in and let's actually start getting some shit done. We're 20 minutes into the video and I've done very little other than ramble, which is brilliant. I do love to ramble a little bit. So we're going to need to actually make their needs. I'm going to make this a little bit of a slum quarter over here. This is going to be towards the industry. These are going to be leveled up into nice houses with time. So what I'm going to do is actually really cram them in. This is going to be mega workers quarters. I may bulldoze them at a later date, but we just need to cram in a bunch of people. Let's just leave that one there for now. This is going to be workers quarters, and it's going to be the slum crappy area town eventually. I'll probably do a little bit of gentrification and push them out, but we're going to have industry over here and they're not going to be the happiest. They'll stay peasants while they will level up. Now, what do we got? We've got a little bit of that timber farmer workforce. Oh, okay, so there's workforce in here as well. Okay. Interesting stuff. Interesting working farmers. So each building may require different types of workforce. That's brilliant. How are we going for... Timber's fine. Fish is shooting upwards. We're going to need... so what I was discovering before was happiness. So normally they've got just a needs counter. This time though, appears they have needs that they absolutely require because they're not maxing out their population here. And without that, I'm down 20% of now. I'm going to slow down because time's ticking quite rapidly here. So without their needs, they're not able to get up to maximum population. But of course the happiness. Now the happiness is actually modified by a whole range of things, working conditions being one, the peace, so if I'm under attack, at war or something, but also their luxuries. So I can build schnapps and that looks like a service. So I have a place to drink the schnapps and meet other people and revel and have some revelry and stuff like that. But that's new, so it's not actually required to get the max population, or more importantly, it's required to update like it always was. You had to fulfill every need to upgrade them to the next level, but you can't get the max population straight away without fulfilling all the basic needs. So, with enough sort of faffing about and all that stuff, it's time for us to actually get out here and start planning out what we're going to do. I need clothing because we're going to need a basic stuff. So, sheep farms make wool and clothing. It's very basic to start with.
A fire broke out.
Okay, fires. I do hate fires. Ooh, that's a bit far away. They're in action. They're running. What's mobilize mean? Okay. Oh, additional units until the end. Okay, so if things really go bad, I can call in multiple fire people. We're going to need a fire thing up this end of town. So I'm going to grab a pet and throw one over in this slum version. Ooh, that's useful. So used to be able to just not have these buildings at all, and you'd be able to throw one down when something broke out, take care of it, and then bulldoze again. Looks like now they actually require them to train, so you're going to lose a little bit of land regardless. Now, People are not happy enough, so I can't mobilize them, which is unfortunate. But by having one on this side, that should handle all the problems over here, which is interesting. They're not going to be ready for this time, but they will be ready for the future as we continue to expand. Either way, I was in the process of doing something. A lot of things will pop up on this. I get distracted far too easily. Now let's get ourselves some farms down here. I don't want to get too close to these mines over here. So we'll throw that down there and we'll have a look.
She had bunions, silly orncoot. So I says, keep your feet in health or you can't work.
Did she
and your 6 little mouths
call
will go
someone a
hungry.
silly old cunt? I'm sure I misheard that one. We require 3 fields. This is a little bit of the Anno charm. Thankfully these fields are exactly the same size as the building itself, which makes for some very easy placement. 1, 2, 3. So what we can actually do is throw a path. Oh, that's interesting. I can do. I haven't thought this out quite as well as I could have. What we'll do is this can be our connection because we do need to have access to. There you go, that's cutting those down slightly, but they're still at 100%, so I'm not bothered. Now, these are
Peddlers say there's nowhere
no
to
acid
take
rain,
it.
that's fine, I'm not bothered about it. I'll build one shortly. If I throw another one there, I can sort of start to use this dead end area a little bit. You can actually go all the way out there. 2, 3. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need. I think I'm going massively overkill here, but that's the thing here. I can throw quite a few of these down. Wait, I have to move that. I stuffed up slightly. Road, get you up to there. And this is the joy of Anno. You can actually spend a whole heap of time, which I won't do, but min-maxing and planning out how you want to have this set up. Wow, there is so much I could do here. I'm just going to stop before I go a little bit mad here. You've got 3, everyone's got 3. So what we're going to need now is one of these babies. I'm going to throw you right here. We're going to need a couple of clothing factories. We've got a lot of, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Typically early on, these are 1-to-1. So let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that'll give us a road out the back here. This is starting to look a little bit messy, and this may well be overloading this warehouse. So the warehouse at the lowest level, can I upload them? Looks like there are 2 dudes who work here and can buy additional levels and allow more people to work there.
I love the smell of dew.
You love the smell of dew. Okay, that's good. These are kind of cool. They've all joined together. It's really kind of cool looking. So it looks like, let's get that without the camera freaking out. That is a nice little view. So we're up on a bit of a hill here. So we're farming up on the mountains, sort of on the less arable land. It's a bit rocky and crappy up here. I don't think arable land is a game mechanic, but I'm a farmer at heart, so I sort of, I'm actually a farmer in real life. So I sort of, I look at the land a little bit, and I like building farms in this game. Ooh, we've got a little bit of space back here. Let's do stuff. Definitely leave a comment if you think I'm being a pain in the ass with the decoration here. But I am going to absolutely love the share of this. If you want me to move on a little bit more, I can. Definitely let me know. But I'm going to just enjoy myself and plug along. So we have 75. I haven't been building much. Let's really get cracking here, because I'm losing shit tons of money. So the clothing will get made shortly. This will start cracking out really quickly. So we got the first bits of clothing coming back, and that will start sending this up more. So I need to start getting housing. Let's go there and really get this stuff cracking. Like, these people need to start working and consuming quite a bit. So I'll get this all done like that. Just to get a few numbers in the slum corner of town. And these people are moving in and they're paying tax. That's the important bit. Now, it looks like consumption tax is something. I'm imagining buying goods from the marketplace is part of what gives them gives me consumption tax money. Farmers paying tax is the main thing. So Interesting stuff. So this now is beginning to go up. I can click the pause button there. It actually blocks them from being able to use it, but I want them to use this as that will increase their happiness and drive up their population. Reduced supply is improving, but it's not particularly good. They have a reduced supply, as these guys have a perfect, stable supply. But that's fine, that's increasing. I can now start working on... Am I going to cross that threshold shortly? Maybe. What we're going to do, though, is consider getting a pub. Let's do a pub down somewhere. It's a fairly big building, but it is 2. Now, the question is, where would you like a pub? For these people here, I'm actually thinking they're going to want one right in the middle of town. We're going to build 2 pubs. We're going to build a lower class commoners pub, just here, and we're going to build an upper class pub. I need to see the range that these things have. They seem to be pretty good for the most part. I'm going to throw you there, and maybe right there. No, maybe over here. On that corner. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bulldoze these 4 here. And throw a pub in. What way is the pub going to face? So that's the front of the pub there. If I put...
turnip was the size of her head.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the front there. And I'm actually going to put a road up there. And then just beautify. Put those down. A little poplar there. Maybe a little shrub next to it. Just out the front of this pub. So people can go across the road and sit out under the tree if they want to actually enjoy it. But this pub here is providing a service. Now, we haven't actually got anything for them to drink at the moment. So, we're going to have to... Oh, that's interesting. The service sort of doesn't reach that far, really. These people barely have access to the pub. It's good, but not perfect. So that's actually interesting. That allows you to really focus on good building design. I'm going to want just grass for these guys. They're not going to have a spectacular pub access. They just got a little bit of grass on the outside there. They can go out and go and stand on about. And this is the lower class pub. They're all both lower class at the moment, but we will we'll upgrade this level later on. Now the next need we're going to have to fulfill is Schnapps. Schnappy does clean a crocodile, which is an old song. I'm showing my age a little bit here. Snaps is we're going to require a potato farm. That's interesting. Potatoes don't seem to have a... Oh yes, I remember this mechanic. Oh no, this is... I'm getting a bit excited here. This is a spectacular mechanic. Now watch this. Where am I going to put this? So I'm going to need a road at some point to go up to this thing there. Okay, that's fine. So how I want to do this is we're going to need this clay at some point. I'm going to throw down a warehouse. How am I going to do this? Let's say I'm going to throw a warehouse just there for now. Now I'm going to get a potato farm. Now you throw them down. Let's say throw one there. What I can do is, how does it work? It requires 72 fields. You're going to think, holy fuck, he only placed 3 fields for this one. Except that this is a brand spanking new mechanic. So in previous Annos, every single farm you placed down used to be like this. You had to put down a number of these big ass fields, and they got to really weird shapes. Like, I remember grapes in one was like long and thin, and wheat fields had these huge big ones, and dairy in another game was a horrific one to put down. But here, they've changed the actual farming ones. I can build any fucking shape I want. Like I can do, you know, a weird thing like that. Or I can make it massive and long. I can make a single long one all the way up there if I want to. Oh wow, that's kind of cool. If I really want to be a dick, I can go up there and then go across that way and make an L shape. I can wrap around houses. I can do some incredible stuff. And I love this mechanic. I absolutely love it. So what we're going to do is, let's go... and put one there for now because I actually don't want to put any more down. I want to know the size of a Schnapps. Okay, so I'm guessing it's going to be 1 to 1. Let's put that there. Now let's throw this farm like that. Can I get to be... Oh, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. I don't care if it's not perfect. That can be a there. So it's going to sort of wrap around. If I if I had that back one, then we wouldn't be cutting out this area here, and this actually would be perfect. But that's cool for now. I'm happy with that. I can figure that out at a later date. For now, though, what I can do is actually start to get schnapps production going. So I can throw you down. I can throw... let's experiment with a couple of different shapes here and see what we can do. Yeah, that's what I can... So I can go up to there. And then there, that'll actually do it. And now I can throw down using that. Pick a tool, throw down another one there. Now, alternatively, I could actually pick these up, rotate them like that. So the driveway is facing the front. Throw them like that, and then I can actually just bulldoze the top there. Did that work? It did work. And then now... Wait, wrong one, come on. And now we've got perfect straight fields at the back. That's beautiful. I'm loving that. We can actually have, at some point, roads coming down here. We can beautify it up, throw a line of poplars. Ooh, we didn't want to go that far. It's just wasted a bit of money. Put a line of poplars down like that. And that, I think, is going to look beautiful. When you've got a tessellating pattern set up, so your windbreak, this is how real farms work. Give yourself a windbreak to actually protect the potato crops from falling over and being blown around. And I can have a tessellating pattern set up where I've got other farms down here crisscrossing across. This game is going to be spectacular with regards to farms. If anything else they've done, regardless of anything else, this farm is a great leap forward, and I'm so excited about that. Now, I don't really know the ratio. I'm assuming 1-to-1 for now, early on. And now that's actually, although it's costing me money to maintain that, and apparently royal taxes has now become a thing that probably stops me from snowballing later in the game. It's going to cost me a fair bit of money to actually do that and run those, but it's going to make people much, much happier, and I hope they don't have ascension rights on. That's something... that's something that's different in this game. I don't know how to stop ascension rights, but we'll figure that out when it happens. Now, either way, what I was saying was the schnapps now are going to start coming in. Now, the supply is critical, but it is beginning to improve as more and more schnapps sort of filter through this populace. Now, the way it works is one dude doesn't just grab the entire bottle production. What they've got is the pubs now will be selling, or the markets will be selling just a little bit of the schnapps, and people can buy a little bit, but not quite as much as they want to drink. And as I pump out more and more, the supply is coming out. They're like supply and demand in real life, and the finger quote price is coming down, I suppose, and people can buy and get more of what they need. So the tax they're paying is going to go up. You can see here we're now positive. They're paying 903 from the farmers, and the consumption tax gone up. And of course now the farmers are paying more. You can see that number going up. And that is how you make money in this game. Effectively, it's all about balancing their needs, and some things can be quite expensive later on. Like you might have a lobster harvesting farm, for example, which making luxury food, which is hugely expensive. But then of course the high level people will pay an absolute fortune for the really high level stuff. Looks like our clothing's going well here. I want to actually double check how our demand's going. Everything's looking good here. Schnapps is being bought out as soon as it's put in, as it says there, quick before it evaporates. So that stuff is kicking over really quickly. But you know what, that's where I'm actually going to leave it. We've been ticking on here for nearly 40 minutes. I'm interested to see what you guys think. In fact, it doesn't really matter what you think. I'm going to be pumping out a couple of these regardless. If you guys don't like it, then I will be greatly disappointed, because I love this game and I'd love to have you guys come back and keep watching. Mainly because, I don't know really. I suppose that's the thing you meant to do. But look, it'd be great to have you guys come along. This is Anno 1800, the brand spanking new Anno game. I've got 4 days to just smash through this and do everything that I can. So I'm going to go for a good couple hours tonight. And record things and just sort of tinker along and play with my thoughts. We built a little village. I've rambled a hell of a lot. Probably not the most interesting video, but you know what? God damn it, I am loving it.
Don't even mind the neighbors.
Don't even mind the neighbors. Take care, guys. I'll see you around.